Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're going to be going through my top 5 Wilder heroes. So if you disagree and you have different opinions, make sure to leave them in the comments below, and we can compare who is right and who is wrong, even though it's nobody's. So let's get into this video. So first up, I just wanted to do an honorable mention to Arden, because I'm going to be focusing more on elite heroes with these, but Arden is actually better than a lot of the elite heroes, pushing up to some pretty fast stages. Basically, the reason Arden's a beast is these roots, just amazing. The problem with him is eventually he will fall off, because even though support heroes can work from the back row at elite, a lot of stages have splash damage, and he'll basically end up just dying to absolutely anything because of his 160 level cap. But especially from 141, when he starts entangling 3 enemies, I'm pretty sure it's 141, and up to like 160, up to probably like, you know, until you start getting ascended heroes, he can be really, really nice, like absolutely amazing. So that's him. Early game, one of the best, 100% that you can use. But yeah, I think it's level 81 that he starts entangling 2 enemies and becomes useful. Before that, don't bother. But really, really good hero. Just wanted to get him out of the way because he's an absolute beast. So now when we look at the elite heroes, we're going to do these in no particular order, but the first one we're going to look at is going to be Nemora. Now, Nemora is an amazing hero. There's a few things. Basically, her ultimate is a really nice heal. Let's go into test hero. So her ultimate's a really nice heal. She also has another passive heal that just not passive, but it's a non-ultimate heal that's going to heal the weakest ally, which is really nice. And there you go. That's her ultimate. The great thing about it is with skill ups, it's going to also provide a shield if it overheals. But probably the best thing about Nemora is her mind control. So you'll see here in a second, one of the enemies will get a love heart above their head. Yeah, there you go, the charm. And they'll start attacking their allies. Now, with skill ups, if we go over here into this mind control, with skill ups, level 3, entranced enemies will now use all abilities excluding their ultimate ability to attack. So the fantastic thing about this is you can bring a Nemora in against something with an annoying CC. For instance, something like an Arden. And if you can outspeed that Arden with the use of Jura's Call and a Lyca or something like that, you can make your Nemora mind control the Arden, and then the Arden is going to root 3 of his allies. So instead of bringing your own Arden and only rooting 3 of the enemies, you're actually effectively CCing 4 enemies with 1 ability. That's where she becomes absolutely amazing, and this is so annoying. The other great thing about it is, while an enemy's mind controlled, specifically a lot of people use Chimera. If a Chimera is mind controlled and she's already used her ultimate, that ultimate will stop dealing damage to your allies, and also it will stop healing the Chimera. So it's a really, really nice ability for the Nemora, and basically the rest of it is just all about her healing. There you go, that she's got that gradual heal for the weakest ally, and then she also increased the efficiency of healing. So she's just all about that healing, and then she's got the mind control, which is really, really nice. Like I said, can really be effective against other teams with some CC, used against a Pharrell or something like that as well, and it's really, really nice. So that's Nemora, and we're just going to go in order of the portraits. Next up, Lyca. Once again, Lyca's not like the strongest damage dealer, all that jazz. She's got this AoE knockback. She's got a passive ability that allows her attacks to reduce the enemy's defense. She's got this rapid fire, which seems like a really big single target damage thing. You know, she rapid fires 3 arrows. But it really doesn't do that much damage, and it does give her some healing, but once again, it's not massive damage, so it's not massive healing. The whole reason, besides her ultimate is really nice, the defense break is really nice as well, but this is the whole reason we use Lyca, is the haste at the beginning of the battle. So if we go over here into test hero, you can see everyone has that haste buff. You got the little pink lines shooting past you, and it's actually so much bigger than you think it is. So the haste buff can't go. Right, we'll do this again. We'll do this again so we can see it. The haste buff is so good because it allows you to use your abilities faster at the start of the battle, which is everything. Things like Nemora, like I was talking about, being able to mind control enemies that she otherwise might not mind control them in time. Things like your normal CC, your Arden, your Pharrell. If you're trying to fight mirror matches of enemy CC heroes, if you have your Arden versus an enemy's Arden and they don't have a Lyca but you do, you're always going to be able to CC before them. So that haste buff is just absolutely massive. But also, like, every little thing that your heroes do, all of your heroes, they're going to do it that little bit quicker, and taking a Lyca into your team can completely change the RNG of everything and allow it all to happen. So the great thing about her, and I forgot to mention about Nemora, obviously she likes to be higher ascension for the heals, but they can both work effectively at lower ascension tiers and lower levels than the rest of your team, because they are sitting in that back row. But the same thing is Arden when he gets capped at 160. If these guys are still at elite and you're pushing chapter 25, you might start to see issues where they just melt to absolutely everything. If they can survive one little bit of splash damage, then they're pretty much still effective. So that's Lyca. Moving on to the next one, which also falls into that category of being able to be used at a lower ascension tier, and that is Tasi. Now, Tasi is absolutely amazing. Once again, another control support hero. Basically, she has this little butterfly that's going to do some healing, give some haste. Not too big on that one. She's got, this is a really nice skill, which is a banish. It's a 4-second banish to the most powerful enemy. It's just really nice because you can test this, you can find out what the most powerful enemy is, you're going to banish them, and then you can plan the rest of your team around that. It's only 4 seconds, but it is really nice. She's got this other ability which is so annoying where she teleports, and basically she can teleport anywhere. She can teleport behind allies or enemies, and basically, you can change the RNG of the battle. You can try a battle a million times if it's close, and Tassi's teleporting where she teleports to can really change the result of the game. So she's one of those ones that you can test a lot of times. And then she's also got, and this is also effective in that if you have her at a decent ascension, you can put her in the front row as a tank. She'll take a little bit of damage, then teleport away, let the enemies push forward into your other heroes, and she can just play that little bit of a distracting role. You then have her ultimate, which puts all enemies to sleep for 4 seconds. Once the enemies awaken, they will be dealt 25% of the damage received while they were asleep. So it's extra damage. It's real hard CC. So it's just an all-round nice ability. So let's go into test hero. And one of the best things about Tasi is that banish is a really nice ability. However, the enemies can't take damage when they're banished either. But if they are banished here, as you'll see, when she uses her ultimate, because the game, they programmed this really smart. So the game knows that when the enemy's banished, they can't deal any damage, but they also can't receive damage. So they programmed it so for Tasi to synergize with herself really well. If the enemy is banished and she uses her ultimate, they will come out of the banish and then go to sleep so that you can deal damage to them, because the sleep's 4 seconds, the banish is 4 seconds, so you're not going to lose time off of the CC that the enemy is CC for, and you're also going to be able to deal damage to them. So it's just one of those really, really nice extra little features about her self synergy that works really nice. And as you can see, her little butterfly floats around, does all that stuff, and then she does her teleports. She's just a really good hero, and moving into the later game, she can actually deal some damage because she does actually steal attack rating off of enemies, and she's so just elusive, and she can still survive for a long time if she's at a decent ascension tier. And she can actually do some decent damage as well later game. Early game, you probably won't see too much, but later game, definitely some decent damage. So that is Tasi. Moving on to the next one. Now, those three are the three no-brainers I think everyone thought would be coming. So the next two are the big ones. I decided to go for one tank, one DPS, and the tank I went with is the tree. Now, keep in mind, I haven't built all these guys and tested them end game, but the tree is just, from what I hear from people, he's not too great early game, but amazing in late game, and you can see it when you try and fight against him how annoying he is. So the tree, basically, this ultimate, he basically roots himself in the ground, becomes immune to CC, and then uses his energy to convert his auto attacks into attacks that throw a big rock and will stun a close range AoE of enemies. So this is super frustrating in that you can't CC him, and he's going to be just throwing these rocks that stun you, and they come really fast. So let's go to test hero and we'll demonstrate it. So there you go. There's one of his other ability. He runs into battle and roots the front row. Now, here we go. He uses his ultimate, and you'll see he's going to throw a big rock there, which is a stun, and then a little rock, and then a big rock. And every time he throws those big rocks, it's a close range AoE stun. So those two guys in melee, they both get stunned. It's really annoying. But yeah, his root ability is really nice, especially if you fight against teams that have multiple melee heroes in the back row. So what you can do is you can line him up against those back row melee heroes. They run into melee range with the tank, and then he's going to root all of them at the very start of the battle. It's really nice. As you can see there, anyone in the range of that root basically dies. No, they basically get rooted, and then he can throw his big rocks at them and stun them again after they're rooted, and it's so frustrating. And as you can see here, he hasn't taken any damage, so he's not healing, but you can see all the little plus signs and the green stuff going up on him and his ally over there. But you can actually see the numbers now ticking away healing. So that is his passive, which is really, really nice. A passive ability that restores 4% of lost HP per second, upgrades up to 5%. And the other great thing about it is at level 2, weakest ally also receives this ability effect. So this is some really nice healing, and it's 4% of lost HP. So it's not max HP, which, max HP would be absolutely nuts. But hey, when your team's getting low, they're below 50%, they're healing at least 2% of their max HP at that stage. So per second, which is really, really nice. And then we look over here, and this is his other ability. You can see it there. He pulls the root up, and he puts a shield on an ally, which also restores them for 4% of their lost HP per second. So you get a lot of healing. If you have a weak ally who's getting really low there at like 10%, you've got this ticking away, healing them for probably what is going to end up to be like 3 something percent of their max HP, and then you're going to have a shield on them, and this also healing them, and then they'll quickly get a bunch of health back. So that is why Ulmus, the tree, I never call him Ulmus, but he is the tree, he is Ulmus. He is so frustrating to fight against, especially in some stages where they decide to put, 4 Ulmuses against you, and all these trees are just basically healing each other with their passives and shields, and it's an absolute nightmare. So he's really nice. I'm trying to build him on account at the moment and get some more testing and more videos out for him. But really nice hero all around. Really good tank. Immune to CC once he's ultimate. He's, like I said, he restores health a lot. So he's just a good thick tank to sit there in the front row and protect your team and get some good CC out. That's Ulmus. Moving on to the next one. And the next one I decided to put on the list, something like Aeron's really good. I think Kaz is really good as well. But I went with Lawson. Now, Lawson is so unique in the way he works, and he's another hero that you can get some use of at low ascension tiers as well. But let's just look through it. So he's got this ultimate, and this becomes really nice. So it's like a building AoE that then explodes, deals good damage. But level 2 skill up, final explosion causes nearby enemies to lose 50% of their energy. That's really nice. It's really nice. They're about to ult, you get this explode in their face, and then they lose 50% of their energy. Really, really helpful to your cause. The next ability, it's this symbol that he puts on enemies that increases the damage they take from your allies' ultimates, is the basic overview of it. Really, really nice, because it's basically just means you're getting more ultimate damage. So this makes him amazing, absolutely amazing, and this only goes on one enemy at a time, and then he'll keep spreading it out each time he uses it. But against Riz, against Soren as well, I haven't found a good comp for Soren yet with him in it. I think it would be fairly easy, it's just I lack the general distractions for Soren. So let's ignore Soren. But for Riz anyway, even though he's got faction disadvantage, you can use this, increase that ultimate damage, especially if you're using something like a Belinda, and you're going to get some massive numbers out of it. I even get some good use out of it on my Gwyneth account using my Gwyneth. Even though her ultimate isn't that massive targeted damage, It's more of an AoE thing, but still, it's really, really nice for increasing your damage on Riz. Just really, really good. The next one is this link ability, which I find amazing with Gwyneth. Once again, I do talk about Gwyneth a lot, but she's good. But this can be used so well on any team. So let's go into test hero. So this link ability, you'll see it right here. He links the nearest and farthest enemy, and basically they just take any damage that the other one would have took. I think originally it's like 80%. We can have a look at the numbers in a sec, but it ends up going over 100%. So they take more than the damage the enemy that's taking the damage, the other enemy is taking more than that much damage. And the great thing about this is it's damage that can't be avoided. So as long as that one enemy is getting hit, that other enemy cannot dodge, it cannot evade that damage. So things like Kaz, really nice to link to. Another thing you can do, something else that's really annoying, is a Sylvina. If he can survive the first hit from a Sylvina and put this link on a Sylvina and another enemy, it's a really good way to kill a Sylvina as well. So yeah, play around with it. It's just a really nice ability. And if both those enemies are taking damage at the same time, then it's just double dipping on damage, because they're both taking the damage, but then they're also both taking the damage extra because the other one's taking the damage. So it's an amazing ability, that link ability, and that he just used on his allies is the shield, and that is going to be his final ability. Let's just have a look at this, the link damage. As you can see, yeah, it starts at 80 and goes up to 120% of the damage. So really nice. And also, if a linked enemy dies, the other surviving linked enemy will be stunned for 5 seconds, which is nice. And then we've got his shield here. Cast a shield upon 2 random allies, which lasts for 7 seconds and is able to reduce damage equal to 250% of Lawson's own attack rating. So all that support, all those abilities that are like, you've got the eye increasing ultimate damage, you got the link, which is, helping you spread the damage, you've got the shield, which is nice support. He can also deal really nice damage with his ultimate and his just damage in general, and increasing his attack and ascending him further is nice because it also increases the value of this. But he can still work very well at a low ascension tier, and if you've got him and you haven't tested him against Riz, throw him in there, test him out, because it may increase your damage depending on the rest of your comp. So that is going to be it for my list of the top 5. Like I said, the first 3 pretty staple. I definitely suggest Lawson if you haven't tested him. Test him out because he can be good. Let me know your list in the comments below. Like I said, I do like Sirius as well. Eron's good, Kaz is good, but you got to make a list out of what you got. So that's what we ended up with. So that is going to be it for the Wilder list, guys. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.